All right, y'all. This is basically the third time I done did this one because my audio done messed up. So I missed out on a couple of good gems, but we're going to jump right into it because every company, whether it's big, small, new, old, winning, losing, successful, failing, fat, skinny, whatever it is nothing more or less than its people. How people are led and how people are managed, how they are made to feel about the work is usually the differentiator between a great company and a bad company. So what I want to do in this video is explore just a few different core principles of what I like to call a people first approach. And the first thing I always like to talk about when I cover this area is just the equal playing field and realizing that no one is just anything. A good way or a good analogy I like to lean into is like a sports team. Or you know what, we're gonna use a chessboard because there's a saying that, you know, the bishops, the knights, these are all the things that you want to get in the right position. But if you get a pawn in the right position, it can take out a queen. It can take out a king because every role contributes to the overall success. It's just a matter of what you do with it and how you position them. Because no one's just a receptionist or just a janitor or just a manager. Everyone plays a vital role in their job, in the company. But you have to realize how different roles actually contribute to a company's success. Now, most people see like senior executives as the top dogs because they have the fancy titles and the clear glass offices. But the company actually won't run smoothly without that overlooked support staff, the wrench turners, as they say. I think it's important to realize that everything that glitters is not always gold. You have to recognize the value of someone in a quote unquote lower position because they actually bring a lot to the table more than you can actually think. And speaking of thinking, that's where I want you to lean into your emotional intelligence. Like I always say, that's going to be your compass of connection. Think of it as the skill set that's going to help you to guide you to understand and connect with your team on a more emotional level because it's about feelings, it's about empathy, clear communication, and recognizing effort. I literally just went through this when I was receiving manager feedback for a company that I work with. Yeah, some of the feedback was we want to be acknowledged and recognized more. And when you don't do this, your company is going to risk failing their employees. Not just their employees, but really their customers and all stakeholders. So you have to make sure that you are on top of this. Think about how you've actually used your emotional intelligence to connect with your team and see if you can get better at that or share that with other people. And hopefully your team is soaking that up from you as well. Because once they do, that leads into what I was talking about earlier is the recognition piece and the appreciation piece, which I like to kind of call like the motivation fuel. And since we're talking about fuel, we use a car analogy because your car is not going to run without fuel, just like your team needs recognition fuel and appreciation fuel, that high octane, man. But they need that to stay motivated because it's not always about the financial rewards, the bonuses, and the pizza party. But you know what I mean, for real. It's actually about making the people feel valued. And sometimes even just a simple thank you can go a long way. Like, I know I'm a simple person, and if you just say thank you, I'm like, all right, bet, we're good. That's all I needed to know. You appreciate it? Bet, we're good. So you have to think about the ways that you have shown appreciation to your team and ways that you feel like you can probably add to that. Because once you start putting people first, you realize it's not just a nice thing to do. It's actually a smart business strategy. Because when you apply it to business strategically, what you get is increased productivity. And it's kind of like that orchestra symphony analogy I always use is, when everyone's playing in harmony, the music is just phenomenal. It's beautiful. And if you've ever been to an orchestra show, you're like, wow, how does this come together? But that's because everyone there usually, not just emotionally, but I mean like musically, right? With the analogy, people feel valued and they start to collaborate better, which leads to more productivity. In this sense, a better sound, right? So your team, your staff, your folks, once they start feeling involved, they're going to always perform better. So you have to find ways to get them involved. How do you make sure that you're going to see that increased productivity in your people, in a people-first environment? That's how. You have to create the people-first environment. Because what happens then, all this is like, it's going to snowball. Because what it turns into next is that enhanced innovation that I always talk about, the greenhouse of ideas. I like using gardens and greenhouses, etc. But let's think of it as a greenhouse. You're going to provide the perfect environment for all these different types of plants and seeds to grow. Just like in a people-first environment or a people-first culture, you're going to have a safe space for creativity and a growth mindset and innovation. So get your people comfortable. Make sure they feel good sharing their ideas, because that's when the innovation and creativity starts to just go crazy. It goes crazy. It starts to flourish. So you can do it, but you have to tap in with your people. And with the people-first approach, leading to innovation in your workplace is going to make things a lot smoother, a lot more productive, and you're going to have stronger loyalty and retention from your people. Because now you go from greenhouse to being in the garden of commitment. All right, you see that? You like that? Greenhouse, garden of commitment. Garden, greenhouse. Anyways, but seriously, imagine that it is a garden where you have to nurture these plants. You don't water it one day and think you're going to get a full beanstalk. You got to come back and water it, nurture it, shit. Sometimes talk to it, harvest it, whatever you got to do. You're going to have to keep coming back. The moral of that is you have to nurture the seed you plant regularly. And it's not only right just to do it, but it's actually good for your business. It's going to be good for your brand, for your personal brand, because now you're seen as the person who can increase loyalty in a people-first environment. And the way you do this is by creating that people-first culture within your organization. But I think one key, if there's one thing that you can take away from this, is to do that, you have to lead by example. And that's where we fall into what I like to call the mirror effect. Think of everything as a mirror. What you perceive is what you receive. Your actions are going to reflect on your team. So if you prioritize people, they will too. And the people they are going to prioritize are going to be different, but it doesn't matter because it's all for the business and you're going to reflect positivity. All right? So as a leader, demonstrate that people-first approach. And sometimes it does need to be a top-down message, because I like to think of the business world in 3 layers. You have the people way up here, you have the people way down here, and you have the people right in the middle. A lot of times the people down here, their priorities are going to be different than the people way up here. And the people way up here don't really understand what's going on down here all the time. So that person in the middle, they have to bridge that trust and that gap. So imagine there being a bridge. You got to connect both sides. And that comes from open and honest communication. So then you start building trust between your leaders and your doers. And that's how you start getting strong people-first environments. And when you do things like be open and vulnerable and tell the truth, that's how you build the trust. But you got to be vulnerable. You got to let them know that I do this too. I'm with you. All right, so once you plant those seeds, and let them know that, the potential to grow is going to be there. But going back to what I said earlier, you have to continue to nurture the seeds and grow your people and grow yourself. Like I always say, your self-awareness, self-development is all going to be key. And that's how people contribute their best. But you have to give people the opportunity. Now, on the flip side, when you give them these opportunities, you also have to give them opportunities to complain or criticize and address things like hurdles and discrepancies and be okay with it and realize that putting people first is not a trend. It's going to have to be a fundamental shift in how you view your business. Now, everybody's going to do their own thing and approach things how they want and see it how they see it. I'm just giving you my perspective because I always believe that it is about recognizing that people, they're not just resources, but they are going to be the brains and the heart of any successful company or team or organization. And once you embrace this mindset of people first, you can actually recreate that same space wherever you go, whether it's with your family, with your team, with your business, with your sports team, with your colleagues and friends. You can recreate that, but it's going to be up to you. That being said, I'm going to leave you with some homework. What I want you to do is, let's see, why don't you identify one way that you put people first in your workplace? Drop a comment below and say what you do. Now, if you see something somebody else says, implement that and then see if you can observe the impact. And remember, by remembering this, you are not in it by yourself. And that if you want to avoid successful meaninglessness, then what you have to do is make and create a people-first environment. So to avoid successful meaninglessness, create a people-first environment. I appreciate y'all for watching this. Now, if you found this video valuable, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more insights on building your business or building a better you. It does building your brand, however you want to do it. Share the video with someone that can use it. And write some of this down and then go try these things. I really want to see you guys doing better. I'm not taking no negativity. We're keeping it all positive too. So we'll see you on the other side, man. We're either going to be on the ground dead because we're trying, or they're going to look from the top. We're at the top looking down saying we made it. So go do what you do, man. You can do it. You can do it. Go do it. Thanks for watching.